Hey guys, my name's Tyler Rugge. This is Barbie. Everyone say hi, Barbie. And I can't believe it's already the 2024 Snake Discovery Build-Off Championship. So as some of you may be aware, Maddie and I have had the pleasure of attending the Snake Discovery Build-Off for the last 4 years in a row. The first year, I don't even remember what we placed the first year. Not the top 3, clearly. Second year, we got 4th place, so we were just shy of getting that top 3 spot in order to make it to the championship. And then the third year, last year, we ended up getting 3rd place. Because of that, we were allowed to come back this year for the champion. One second. Because of that, we were allowed to come back this year for the championship, and we obviously had to give it our all. So for anyone who hasn't been following the Snake Discovery Build-Off lore, very first thing, we got there in the morning and we were split off into teams where we had to compete and do different competitions. And whichever team won got first pick at an item to use in their build.
Okay, now that we are all here, I guess, want to officially welcome you all to the Enclosure Build-Off Championship 2024. You all made it, guys! So what we are going to be doing is to use snake hooks to hook rubber snakes. Your second challenge is to transport water using Zoom Ed water bowls from a barrel into a bucket hanging from a seesaw. And you have to transfer enough water to offset the weight, because when it teeters or totters, depending on how you look at it, a flag will reveal the second code to one of those chests. And your final challenge to get the 3rd code for your chest of puzzle pieces is to snake.
Yeah, we shall start.
Okay. Yes, oh great, yes. But as a team, all you have to do is like such. You're gonna be great.
That's intimidating.
That's right. All right.
Oh my god, I'm terrified.
Who else is black?
You're not black, Dave Kaufman.
I was part of the green team who lost.
Green team rules.
Green team.
Yay.
Green team.
That's okay, because I still ended up getting an item that was perfect for our build. It went together perfectly with our brought item.
Rules regarding your new items that you get to now incorporate into your builds. First, okay.
So basically, for this competition, we're only allowed to use items that are provided by sponsors, but we're allowed to bring 1 item from home. So when I was trying to decide what item I wanted to bring, I knew I wanted to hand make something, whether it be a background or just some piece in the enclosure. Obviously, I wanted it to be really cool, stand out, be one of a kind, but I also still wanted it to be a functional item that would go well in a reptile enclosure and actually have use and actually add to it without just being the main focus and kind of taking away it all. Barbie's trying to leave. Barbie, where do you think you're going? Barbie does not care, unfortunately. So anyways, basically I ended up deciding that I wanted to go with a Pokemon theme again, because Pokemon is what brought us into the championship. And then, you know, that's just such a vague, broad idea. So I had to kind of narrow it down and figure out what exactly I wanted to do. Like I said, I wanted to be functional and to actually have a purpose in the enclosure and not just be some crazy distracting thing that just took up space, you know? So what I ended up deciding that I wanted to do was I wanted to build a dragon gate and have Gyrados' head on the dragon gate and have it be a water feature, like a waterfall sort of thing with water coming out of Gyrados' mouth, and then have a basin underneath as a water dish. That way my item can be a really cool water feature. It's functional. It even serves as a decor piece for whatever animal to climb on and kind of use as enrichment. It's Pokemon themed, and it's really sick. The reason behind the Dragon Gate and Gyarados, first of all, it's 2024, which is the year of the dragon, and also the year of the championship build-off. Gyarados is a really cool dragon Pokemon, and the Pokemon Gyarados and Magikarp are actually inspired by Chinese mythology. So basically the myth is that there is a Dragon Gate that's up on a mountain, and there's carp, and they work really hard to try to swim upstream and jump over the dragon. I don't know why I'm it's a carp apparently. The carp try to jump over the Dragon Gate, And if they succeed and they jump over the dragon gate, they turn into a dragon. So that's how Magikarp and Gyarados, the Pokemon, kind of came to be. They were based off of that. So that's what we decided to do. So the Gyarados head is 3D printed. The rest of the gate is made out of mostly clay and PVC pipes. Unfortunately though, on the way to the build-off, it did break into a lot of pieces in the car. So the first couple hours at the build-off, we actually spent trying to put this thing back together. So we're a little over an hour in and we haven't started actually building our enclosure yet because we have to fix our brought item, which broke into a bunch of pieces in the car on the way here. We have it kind of together, but we're just waiting for the foam to cure that we're now using to hold it together. Going to be a fountain, like water is going to come out of Gyarados' mouth. It's a dragon gate. All these pieces basically just fell apart and these details broke off and everything. We were supplied spray foam, so we used that to kind of try to hold all these pieces together back here. Yeah, so far it's working. So once that's all cured, hopefully we can go inside and put it in, see how it works, and then we can actually start the build. We'll keep you guys updated. Let's see how it goes. And then after a couple hours of fixing our brought item, we got to finally start working on the enclosure. Our goals for this reptile enclosure, first of all, we want to make sure it's really unique and it stands out. Something that someone can't easily just make themselves at home. Because Emily and Ed do a raffle to support US Arc and they give away the enclosures to people who get to win them. But also on top of being like a really cool enclosure that you look at and you're like, wow, that's incredible, that looks really cool. We also wanted to make sure it still actually functioned as a usable reptile enclosure. Like we didn't want it to just be an art piece that an animal couldn't adequately live in easily without it being modified heavily. We wanted to also make sure it was still naturalistic. Naturalistic reptile enclosures are my favorite. Like I just love enclosures that look really natural, have lots of live plants, and literally looks like a chunk of nature put into an enclosure. So I thought it would be perfect because we had the Dragon Gate, which is a really cool piece, but it's just a structure that takes up part of the enclosure and the rest of it can still be completely naturalistic while having an item in there that kind of stands out and adds a really cool functional element, adding a lot of depth and areas for an animal to climb and hide in. We just wanted it to be very usable, have a lot of enrichment, and again, just make it functional for an animal to live in, meet all of their basic needs. So while we were building this enclosure, we had an animal in mind that we were building the enclosure for, and that animal was a bamboo rat snake because, first of all, they can be found in China. They're also a snake that thrives in a lot of humidity, and obviously this enclosure was going to have a big water feature, so that would just make the most sense to have it be an animal that kind of likes a more humid environment. We also want to make sure the enclosure was versatile and someone could easily put a number of different things in there and it would work. Any geckos that like a lot of humidity, you could put frogs in there. We put mostly ferns in there because when choosing what plants we were going to put in there, we also wanted to make sure that those plants would do well in the environment we were trying to create. Yeah, just the whole time we were building this, we were trying to be mindful of what we were using in the enclosure, making sure it made sense, it would be functional, it would work well. So we're finally working on our actual enclosure now. So I think that our little water feature is gonna go over in this corner, and then we're just gonna start by adding the substrate. For the main part of the substrate, we're using the Terra Firma from the BioDude. And make sure to use my affiliate link to buy BioDude products, which will be in the description below. We got our fountain working, so that's how that's looking so far. And we're just gonna add some more stuff back there. And then this is the random item we were given that we have to work with in our build. So I think we're just gonna use it kind of as a planter. Yeah, we have some universal rocks up over here to create dimension in the build and give depth to the build and give the animal different places to climb and utilize a lot of the vertical space in the enclosure. And yeah, we're just working on placement of some of the hardscape and the plants. How are you feeling, Maddie?
I'm feeling confident.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed with the finished result. I think it turned out incredible. Ultimately, I wanted to build an enclosure that I wanted to have, you know? I wanted to leave the build off and be really sad that I wasn't able to keep the enclosure for myself. And I succeeded with that. I would have loved to keep, maybe I'll come and I'll enter to win my own enclosure back. I think we did a really good job at pulling it all together and incorporating the piece that we made. So yeah, I think it turned out really good. I'm really proud of it. Yeah, I hope you guys also like it as well. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what your favorite enclosure was, even if it wasn't mine. But also you can let us know which enclosure was your favorite by voting, and the link to vote will be in the description below. I just want to give a huge thank you to Emily and Ed over at Snake Discovery because they put so much work into planning and putting together this event, and it has been such a privilege for me to have lost the first 2 years in a row and then get third place the third year just in time. It was all a plan. I just wanted to participate every year, so you're welcome. But now I need to win now that it's the championship, so. And one of the prizes is an enclosure from Custom Reptile Habitats, and Barbie wants her own Custom Reptile Habitats enclosure. That's all I'm saying. Where was I? I completely derailed. Thank you, Emily and Ed, for putting on this incredible event for the last 4 years. Emily and Ed, you guys rock. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. All my links will be down in the description below, as you guys probably know by now. And I will see you guys in the next video.